Today's January 9th, 2013. I wanted to start off this entry by saying how much I appreciate where I work. It's not the most exciting job, but I like who I work for and with. I work in an office place where the owner, he's very libertarian, so I not only got a recommendation from him on my sentencing when I was convicted 6 months ago, I guess 8 months ago, but I get to do things like wear around my never take a plea deal shirts, and when I every 3 months we get a work survey that all the employees have to fill out, and it's asking, did you get your breaks, were you mistreated, are there unsafe working conditions, and you can fill it out. It's the way of we cover ourselves, in case anybody in the future decides to try to sue us. But I always, in the question where it's asked, are you ever asked to do anything illegal or immoral, I always write yes. And for the longest time, he would come up to me when he got these. He'd go, "What's the matter?" Because he's older, so he forgets that I've done it before. And he's like, "What's the matter? What happened?" And I go, "Well, I have to pay the taxes because my job is accounts payable, receivable." And I'm the one who writes the checks that go to property taxes and all sorts of fees and permits and all that kind of bull crap. And so I'm saying, well, I'm asked to do something immoral, which is pay taxes, and he loves it. He always laughs. He always thinks it's great. So I like that I work for someone who appreciates that. Got home from work today. My sister's visiting. We had potato soup the other day. Today we decided to make Meatza, which is essentially pizza, but instead of using crust, using dough and making a crust, you make it out of meat. It's low carbs and it's delicious. It's very dense. Normally when I eat pizza, I can just gobble slice after slice after slice down. With Meatza, you have like these little squares of it, and you're pretty well satisfied. We put chicken, bacon, and pepperoni onto it as our main ingredients. And the crust was actually made of ground pork, turkey, and beef. So that's how we made the crust. But very, very delicious. I like when my sister's here because she's on her low-carb diet, which just gives me even more excuses why I'm going to cook more meat. I also, after dinner, I watched a Philip DeFranco video where he does his little PDS where he talks about different things. One of the stories he talked about today was a judge in New York telling cops, "Hey, you can't do your stop and frisk because it violates the Fourth Amendment." And so his question of the day was, "What are your thoughts on stop and frisk?" So I responded to that, explained how basically that it's bullshit. Stop and frisk is ridiculous because it violates our natural rights as individuals. Anyways, so that's what I've done, and continuing to read Penn's book. I thought I'd read you just a really short, maybe sentence or two out of my book, out of Penn's book. Who trusts anything from government schools? Better to be uneducated than educated by your government, as either I or Thomas Jefferson said. I'm very lucky to have had parents who wanted me to be well educated. I was homeschooled. My mom actually got her degree in teaching, so I had a very good education. I did go to school for a couple of years, public school. I think that was actually good too because it allowed me to see the pros and cons of both. Because I do think there are some things you get out of public education that you don't get from homeschooling. Namely, it shows you how stupid it really is. But I'm glad I did both. I had a good mix of the two. And I really wish more people would try to find alternatives to the public education system, although I understand why people don't. Their taxes are taken from them, they have limited resources left over, and the government's offering this free thing for them to utilize, so I get that. But I just like that quote, whether he said, or the Penn said it, or Thomas Jefferson. I think that's a very profound thing to say, and I think it's probably accurate that it is better to be uneducated than educated by the government. I think having the government educate everyone is probably the worst thing long term that's ever happened to modern society.